What's going on, guys? Mirai here, back in with another Genshin Impact video, and as you guys know, Hu Tao dropped yesterday, and after quite a number of polls, we finally managed to get her. Now, if you guys missed me pulling for Hu Tao, you can click here to check out the stream highlight where we were pulling for her. Anyway, today's video will be a showcase and review of Hu Tao, since I did manage to test her out quite a bit today. But before we do that, let me first talk you through my build for Hu Tao. So first things first, my Hu Tao is at level 80. We did manage to hunt enough Ascension materials to get her to level 80 yesterday. And as you can see, she is rocking 34,000 HP, and a lot of that has to do with her artifacts and her weapon, which I'll showcase in a bit. But first, let's go through her details. So she is rocking 60% crit rate, as well as 174% crit damage, and also 61% pyro damage bonus. Next, we move on to her weapon. So for her, I have pulled a Staff of Homa, which we got pretty lucky in about 30 pulls. So Staff of Homa refinement rank 1, and it is also at level 80. So this gives about 60% crit damage to her. Next, for the Constellation, she is at Constellation 0. I feel that, Constellation 0 is the cleanest form of Hu Tao, and I just want to showcase that to you guys. I am still undecided if we should pull for any constellations, so do let me know in the comments if you want me to pull for constellations, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Next, let's move on to her artifacts. So for her artifacts, I am using the 4-piece Crimson Witch of Flame set, and I just want to briefly go through the details of each of these artifacts. So for her flower, she is using 17% crit damage and 9.9% attack, and a little bit of energy recharge on this flower. And for the feather, we have 7% crit damage, 16% HP, and 8.7% attack. Now for the timepiece, I have opted to go with a HP main stat timepiece because I feel that this is better than an attack percent timepiece, and she is rocking 10% crit rate with 500 HP in this timepiece. Next, we get to her goblet, and for her goblet, it is the offset piece, and of course we have the pyro damage bonus main stat, and also 14% crit rate and 478 flat HP. Lastly, we move on to the circlet. So for the circlet, I have opted with a crit rate circlet because of all the crit damage that she was already getting from the Staff of Homa and also her passive. Because as she levels up, her main stat will be crit damage. So crit rate here is the choice for me. And for the substats, we have 11% crit damage, 400 HP, and also 15% HP. So that's basically her artifacts. Now, one additional thing I would like to mention about the 4-piece Crimson Witch of Flames is that not only do you get the 2-piece pyro damage bonus of 15%, but if you take a look at the 4-piece set effect, it says increases overloaded and burning damage by 40%, increases vaporize and melt damage by 15%, using elemental skill increases the 2-piece set bonus by 50% of its starting value for 10 seconds, max 3 stacks. So over here, it's really important because for her elemental skill, if you take a look here, the Blood Blossom, which is when you perform a charged attack while her elemental skill is on, you will get a Blood Blossom effect, and this skill will give you a damage over time every 4 seconds, and this damage is considered as elemental skill damage, which means you will be able to trigger the effect of your 4-piece Crimson Witch set of flames, which is why I feel that the 4-piece Crimson Witch will be the best artifact set on her. Now, if you guys have any questions regarding other artifact sets, do let me know in the comment section below so that I could test it out for you guys as well. Moving on to her talents, I went with a all-rounded build because I feel that every of her skill is very important. So normal attack, elemental skill, elemental burst are all at level 7, and I do recommend that you guys go with a balanced build. If I had to choose one though, I'd probably prioritize her elemental skill a little bit more, and the other two, you could probably keep it balanced. Alright, it's finally time for the showcase. So today, I will be testing Hu Tao against Storm Terror, which is not something that I usually do. I usually just test new characters against Regis Vines because they're much easier to deal with. But I figured, oh well, we'll just test Hu Tao against Storm Terror and we'll see what happens. So let's go. Okay. Huh. Come on. Come down here. Okay. Okay. One more shot. Or maybe a few more. And it's down. Okay, so over here we use Zhongli's Q and then we'll use Ganryu's Q. Switch into Xingqiu. Climb up. Okay. And there we go. So we did manage to down it in one window, which is pretty amazing. So Hu Tao definitely is pretty strong. And that is the end of the showcase. So I gotta say, Hu Tao does do a lot of damage. Alright, so just one last thing before I wrap up this video would be her team composition. So if you take a look at the team composition that I was using just now, I used Zhongli, Hu Tao, Xingqiu, and Ganyu. And these characters are really good because Zhongli is there for the shield and also the resistance shred that he offers. And also for Hu Tao, I mean, she's the main DPS, right? And Xingqiu is such a good pairing with her. So if you are using Hu Tao, I strongly suggest using Xingqiu as your sub DPS or support DPS. And lastly, Ganyu is there to, you know, deal with Storm Terror first of all. But other than that, also to apply Cryo, which Hu Tao can make use of to deal melt damage. One more thing would be the weapons. So for her weapons, obviously the Staff of Homa, which I'm using right now, is the best weapon on her. But there are some other options too. So if you are looking at 5-star options, the Primordial Jade Spear would be a really good weapon on her as well. So if you don't have Staff of Homa, but you have Primordial Jade Spear, you could also use it on Hu Tao. Now if you are talking about the 4-star options, then I'll have to go with Blackcliff Pole, because Blackcliff Pole gives you the crit damage and you can build Hu Tao exactly the same way as you were if you had the Staff of Homa, which means you could put the crit damage on your circlet. Another honorable mention would be Deathmatch with crit rate as its main stat, and with that you could probably put crit damage in your circlet. And another honorable mention would be the Lithic Spear. So for the Lithic Spear, it is kind of niche. You do need 4 Lyria characters in your party to get the maximum effect of that weapon. However, if you do have 4 Lyria characters and also maybe 1 or 2 refinements, you could definitely use the Lithic Spear as well. Alright, so in conclusion, I feel that Hu Tao is a really strong Pyro main DPS with the ability to deal a lot of damage, especially if you have a character like Xingqiu to support her. However, do also keep in mind that she does use HP to activate her elemental skill, and that might be a little risky, especially if you are not careful enough to watch her HP. Now, for the question of the day, is she worth to pull? I'd say accounting for the damage and also how cute she is, it's gonna be an easy yes for me. I definitely enjoy using her and I'll probably continue to do so for a bit. So that's gonna be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this showcase, and if you have any questions regarding Hu Tao, do let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!